So my friend John was an amazing guy. He was life and soul of the party and everyone's friend. Like, everyone knew John and had some sort of connection to him. A really happy-go-lucky and easygoing kind of guy. It'd be hard not to like him. He would always be helping someone with something or putting his heart and soul into like a community project, and was just an all-round really great person. So I just got back from holiday, and John had mentioned on the weekend when we met up that he'd felt some strange lumps in the side of his neck and was feeling a bit under the weather, and said that he was going to go and just talk to his doctor that week and get it checked, but didn't think much of it. He got sent for a blood test, and within a couple of days after that he was being seen in hospital and obviously didn't really know what was going on. We were all out at work at the time and it was just a normal day, and got a message from him saying it's leukemia, and we were all just like, what? Like, how can it be leukemia? Like, you're fit, young, healthy. That's not something that you would get. What even is leukemia? You know, you hear about it in films or maybe through a friend of a friend that's had a personal experience of it, but unless you've had that personal experience, it's something that you might not necessarily know much about. So John's doctors decided that it would be the right course for him to go through a stem cell transplant. They believed that that was going to be the best chance of him surviving, and thankfully his sister was a match. So he was able to receive a stem cell transplant from her donation, which went successfully in terms of the actual process itself. He got married to his gorgeous wife, Rachel, and that was during a remission period where things were looking good, and had an amazing wedding. And it was amazing that he got to experience that, and does she, and that he got to, probably experience some of the happiest days of his life. And yeah, it was a beautiful day where everyone just came together, not only to celebrate them as a couple, but I think just to celebrate that he was there and was doing so well. After a little while after that, that's when he became unwell again, and we got the unfortunate news that the cancer was back and was aggressive, and he only had a few days left to live. There's no words for it really, but we were there having to say goodbye to him all very quickly. And before we knew it, he was gone. And it was, probably the hardest thing that we've all been through, ever. We didn't know much about stem cell transplants until John went through this process. And it wasn't until we watched him go through his donation that we thought, what do other people do in his shoes? Do they get the same opportunity for that treatment? And learning that it's really hard to find an exact match to get this treatment. You know, some people are fortunate, like John, if they've got a sibling match or a family match, but even then, they might not have that opportunity, or they might be estranged from family or not have family members. So we thought, well, why can't we register to become potential donors for people who don't have that same opportunity? So we found out about the charity DKMS and did some research online about what the process looked like and how it all works. Learned that it was really easy. So me and a few friends ordered the packets online, did the mouth swab, took about 5 minutes, and then simply posted the envelope back to DKMS. A year after John had passed away, and it was around his birthday, I got a phone call from DKMS to say that I'd been a match for someone, and would I be interested in working with them to donate my stem cells. And it was a no-brainer, of course. I was going to try and give someone the opportunity. I remember the process for doing the donation was quite quick, because I think the patient's team wanted to crack on with the treatment as soon as possible. So within a week of the phone call, I was travelling to London, where there was a specialist hospital that was prepared to sort out the donation and take it from me so it could be given to the patient. So initially you go in for a bunch of tests to see whether you're healthy and fit and well enough to be able to give your donation. So I went to the hospital and had an ECG done, some blood tests, and a few more other things just to check that I was fit enough. And once I'd been given the green light, I was then given another date, a month or two after that, to go back to that same hospital to actually give the donation. The week leading up to me giving my donation, I had to prepare my body to be able to produce enough stem cells so that they'd be able to collect the amount that they needed on donation day. So for the week leading up, I was injecting myself 3 times a day with GCSF so that that process could begin. It was in the middle of the pandemic. Some people have the opportunity of having a nurse come to them to be able to help them with those injections. The hospital showed me how to administer them, and I felt quite confident and realised it was quite easy. So I was happy just to do it at home in my own time. And once I'd done it once or twice, it was fine. I got into the swing of it. The process itself was pretty painless. I would say that the side effects were, I felt a bit run down, like a little bit fluey, but I was told that that was just my body working overtime to produce all of these extra stem cells. So I just felt a little bit tired and fatigued, but it wasn't bad at all, really. My work were really understanding and supportive. You know, when I explained what it was and that it was a rare opportunity to be able to potentially help save someone's life, it was kind of a non-negotiable, really. They were like, absolutely, take a couple of days, and yeah, we can't wait to hear all about it. And my colleagues were then really interested in and even signed up to become donors themselves because they hadn't heard about it before this experience. So hopefully that was, a positive outcome there as well. DKMS were really supportive throughout the whole process. They were able to help me to arrange travel to London and accommodation for whilst I was there, because I needed to be there the night before so that I could be up early to get to the hospital, and they arranged for accommodation the night of because I would have been really tired, so I needed to kind of just go to bed pretty much straight after the donation to sleep it off and then get ready to travel home again. But they were brilliant in terms of making sure that I had everything that I needed, including like a voucher for food as well. So if anyone was worried about expenses incurred during that process, the charity are brilliant at making sure that you are covered, so that you have the best chance of doing it in the most accessible way for you. The process of donating the stem cells on the day was really straightforward. So I was really well looked after by the staff at the hospital, and the setup that they had on the ward was really well catered for the process. So the process that I went through was essentially having a tube coming out of this arm, taking my blood out and going through a machine which extracted the stem cells and then pumped the excess blood back into my other arm. So almost looked a little bit like a dialysis machine. And you're led there for, I think it was about 3 hours. You're provided with food and you can watch a movie or something like that whilst you're going through it. So you're really comfortable and it's really stress-free. And then they look after you post-donation as well. If you're feeling a little bit tired and woozy, they make sure that you're feeling well before discharging you. And at the end of it, they show you kind of what looks like a blood bag, but full of this kind of strange pink stuff, and that is your stem cells. So you're able to have a photo with it afterwards, just to remember what you've done, and they're able to talk through the process as well and explain how that's then going to go off to the patient and what that looks like. So you really feel like you're part of that process of being able to give someone this really important treatment, and it's a really rewarding experience. So initially you don't know anything about the recipient that's going to get the donation. Later on down the line, if things go well, then you might get the opportunity to know a little bit more about them. It was really lovely. So since giving that donation, every Christmas via DKMS we send each other like a Christmas card, and just it was really lovely to receive like a little appreciation letter from the person, and to hear that they were doing well and that that it had all gone well for them. It was really, really heartening to hear that. I think it was 2 years after the donation, DKMS were able to tell me that the recipient was a woman in her 30s based somewhere in the UK. And then later on down the line, you're given the opportunity, if you want to be able to exchange personal details. So whether we do that in the future is up to them. But it's really nice just to know that there is someone out there, hopefully still thriving and being able to live and enjoy life, just because of something very simple that I was able to do. And that's a huge, huge privilege that I'd want to encourage anyone to take part in, because if you're able to be part of someone's story in that way, I don't think there is a better opportunity. It's wonderful.